Hi there, 30-06 John here, and today what we're going to be doing is reloading some 44 Magnum bear loads. The pistol I'm going to be loading for today is my 4-inch Ruger Red Hawk. Carried this gun a lot, like it. For components, we're going to be using CCI large pistol Magnum primers. For powder, we're going to be using Winchester. We're going to be using Winchester 296 ball powder. This is the same as Hodgdon H110. They might have been different in the past, but today's powder, if you look at the Hodgdon loading data, which also includes Winchester, the loads are the same. For bullets, I'm going to be using 2 bullets. I have these True Shot 44 caliber 310 grain bullets. I shot these a little bit, and they're pretty good bullets. Gas check, wide flat nose. They're a little bit heavier than 300 grains, so I'll have to check the overall length when I seat them. My other bullets are these Cast Performance bullets. These are very good bullets. I've used them quite a bit. Really haven't shot anything with them, but they have a very good reputation. Gas checked, 300 grain. For brass, someone gave me this box of HSM Cowboy brass, 44 Magnum. It was 240 grain, but it's just the brass now, so it's once fired 44 Magnum brass, and that's what I'm going to be using for these loads. Before I start reloading, I just want to go over a couple of current stories that happened here in Alaska. This first story just happened here on Wednesday. A man was hiking off of Chino Hot Springs Road near Fairbanks, and he was charged by a sow brown bear that was protecting its cub. If you read this story, there just happened upon a sow and a cub around 11 o'clock. It says here, once the adult male, the person, and the sow made eye contact, the bear charged. Then when I scroll down here a little bit more, it says here, the man shot the bear with a 44 Magnum revolver. The sow was believed to be acting defensively to protect her cub. The injured bear fled from the area. The cub left with its mother. So some people think that a 44 Magnum is too small for bear protection. This is just a story that happened a couple days ago where the 44 Magnum was quite adequate in protecting this father and son. Not that it killed the bear, but it injured the bear enough that the bear ran off. And that's what you want to do when you're in a bear defense situation. You don't necessarily have to kill it, but you do want the bear to change its direction. Not charge you, but to run off. It would be nice if it would kill it, but the purpose is to keep you alive. Anyhow, the troopers followed the bear. They tried to track it down. They tracked it for 5 hours. There must have been some blood. They couldn't find the bear, so they tracked the bear to a very remote location. So they feel that bear, even though it's wounded, is not going to be a threat to other people in the area. There's a second story I want to go over. This story just happened this past week. It happened a little bit out of Nome, Alaska. This Coast Guard helicopter was flying and saw an SOS sign on top of a shack near Nome, and he rescues a man who said he was attacked by a bear. If you read this story, this person was attacked by a bear, and the bear kept coming back at night for the past week. Evidently, this person had no communication, And so he was stuck there, injured with the past week, with this bear coming in at camp at night. Not a very good situation. I switched to a Yahoo News article about this. The person was found with an unspecified leg injury and torso bruising and transported to a hospital for medical treatment. Also, it says here he was severely sleep deprived because the bear kept coming into camp at night and almost out of ammunition. Not sure what was going on there. Maybe the guy didn't have a bear gun. He just had a .22 or something. Not a good situation to be in. It says also here, at some point the bear had dragged him down to the river. I'd like to have more information on this story. That's a bad situation to be in if you're having a bear dragging you down to a river. It almost seemed like the bear was going to feed on him. And the bear coming in every night for the past week sort of verifies that. That's whenever you go to Bush, Alaska, you need a bear gun. Anyhow, this is a couple of stories. If you want to look these up, these are just off of a Yahoo News feed. Just just search bear attacks, Alaska bear attacks. You'll come up with these stories. Both of these happened this past week. They don't really make the national headlines, but bear attacks happen every week in Alaska in the summertime. So for loading the 44 mag, I'm going to be using, of course, my trusty Lee turret press. Also, I have a Lee powder thrower here on top. Uses these adjustable discs that have different holes in it. You just pick out the diameter that throws the charge you need, weigh it, and verify it. Works pretty good for me. This is when I verify a powder charge, I always write it, what powder is inside here, and the charge. So right now I'm using Winchester 296 at 20.6 grains of powder. I just verified this. So let's get reloading. I get a brass, once fired brass. Make sure it's set up underneath there. D prime. Primers do have a habit of flopping everywhere. Put a new primer in. Seated. Make sure that primer is seated flush. Make sure it rotates to the powder. This throws the powder up here. Grab a bullet. I've always checked the seating on it already. See, it looks good to where the crimp is. Rotate it to the crimp die. Crimp. Oh, let me get this underneath there. Here you can definitely see the crimp groove there, pretty good. And how the case is crimped into it. The primer is flush. Looks like a good reload. Let's continue. Now, on this one, I'm going to use these True Shot 310 grain bullets. And I'm going to have to check the overall length of the bullet and make sure it's reset my seating die. This bullet is a little bit longer than the 300 grain, just a tad. That's seated and just the die for so that it crimps in the crimp groove. Sort of trial by error thing. When you first do this, that right there looks good. If you look there, let's see here, see if we get that focused in there for everyone. You can see the case it's not crimped yet, but it's just right to the seating groove. I'm sorry, the crimping groove. So once I got that right, I unscrew the die here, run the ram all the way up till it touches it. So right now it's set to the correct overall length for this. Crimp it. You don't have to change the crimp die at all. You can see right there the crimp groove is has the case crimped into it. Looks good. Let's make sure it's crimped. Primer's flush, looks good. Here's a 310 grain bullet. And here is the 300 grain bullet. You tell that the 310 is just a tad longer. There we go. It actually extends into the case the same amount. It's just that the 310 sticks out a little bit longer, and the Red Hawk has a longer cylinder than the Black Hawk, so it could shoot these. Anyhow, let me continue on. Hey, thanks everyone for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you like this type of content. Everyone stay safe and have a nice day.